Hello. Okay, so first thing, we just got to make sure your preferences are set correctly. Okay, so click on Preferences for me. It's under your name, upper right-hand corner. And first thing that you're going to do is the main thing you're going to change is default modeling orientation Z up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down from the top. Okay, next we're going to go down to design, and I want you to just copy this. All those check marks are turned off. The only one that's turned on is the fourth one from the bottom, edit dimension when created. Okay. Next, we're going to go into CAM and make sure the one at the top there, Enable Cloud Libraries, is checked on. And you don't have to copy this, but just make sure that one is turned on, and make sure Show Manual NC is off. Right here. Make sure that one is off.
Where was the drawing orientation default at?
Z up.
But in which?
On general.
On general.
Okay. Next, we're going to go to, I want to go to graphics. I don't know if people have fast or slow computers here, so we're going to just make it run super fast. We want selection display type simple. Degraded selection display type, keep that simple. Transparency effect, better performance. Click on limit effects during a navigation to maintain frame rate. Make sure that's checked on. Make sure minimum frame rate during navigation is 50. The next two should be checked on. And hitting edge dimming 50%. Next, we're going to go to design, default units, design. And we want to make sure that's in inches. And under CAM, we want to make sure that's in inches. Both should be in inches. Hit apply at the bottom. Click on preview and make sure on preview, make sure mesh workspace is clicked on. Then hit apply and then hit OK. Does everybody have a mouse?
You didn't say anything about live review.
I did not, and I'm just going to mention this right now. My classes are Simon Says. If I don't say it, don't do it. You don't need to ask about it. Like if you have something that's doesn't look like mine, don't worry about it. If I say do it, do it. It's like we're in a plane and I'm the pilot, and we're going to hit a mountaintop. I say pull up, don't ask why. Just do it. Okay? That's how I teach. I start in first gear, I go to second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, I go into overdrive, and then I throw the turbo on, the jet. And there are going to be people who've taken my class, and they can follow, and that's how I stay, and that's how I get everybody to learn something. And then you can take the class again, and you'll learn something more. Every class is a little bit different. What I'm going to do, though, today, this one is a pretty standard class. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach how to do the test for the multicam, how to do it in Fusion 360 rather than doing it in vCarve. Okay? Because the way it's taught, the way Chris or whoever teaches it, they usually teach it how to do it in vCarve. There's also a video that I did, how to do it in vCarve, that Chris gives out. He gives that out as a review, but this one is specific to Fusion 360. It's really up to you what you want to do. Do you want to do your stuff in vCarve, or do you want to do it in Fusion 360? I prefer Fusion 360 because I can do a million more things in it than I can do in vCarve. Okay, so who has taken the multicam class, the regular one? Awesome. Okay, so for some of you, this is like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's cool. I'm going to keep it, just like I say, this is like Simon Says. You're going to learn just by doing, and you're going to see what happens. And at the end of this trial by fire, you're going to see that what I showed you works. Okay? Um, your test consists of, when you take the class, you're going to learn all about the machine, but to test out on the multicam, you have to cut something that looks like that. There are going to be 3 cuts on it. There's going to be a V-carve cut, where you're going to just do some letters on it. You're going to do a pocket cut, and then you're going to do a profile cut with tabs, okay? And there are going to be 2 end mills. These are called end mills. They're not called drills. They're called end mills, and these are the things that we use in the CNC, the multicam. Okay, that's a 1/4 inch. It's pretty. This is like a workhorse, and then that's a 60-degree V bit. So the 60-degree V bit is going to cut the word test. The 1/4 inch end mill is going to cut the pocket, and then it's going to cut the profile. Okay, that's going to be a lot of what you're going to do using that machine, or using these 2 end mills anyway. I mean, there are tons of other options, and you're going to do them in that order. You're gonna do this. We're gonna do this first. We're gonna do a pocket, and then we're going to do the profile. Okay. So there's part of the test is you have to do 2 end mill change. Well, you have to change. You put this one in first, and then you change it, and then you do the pocket, and then the profile. Okay. Did you get the preferences? You didn't. No, you missed that.
No,
Okay. Let me just see. I want to just make sure you got it.
my mouse is.
Your mouse broke?
Yeah,
Do you need another mouse?
it works. I maybe have a better pad,
Okay.
which I have.
All right. So it's not like I don't want you guys to ask me questions, but I want to get through it so that you can ask a lot of other questions later on. I want to go through the mechanics of it. Okay. So some of you who has never touched Fusion 360 before in your life? Okay.
It's me.
Right. So what we have here is we have a couple of people here who've never touched it, and so that's one of the reasons why when I like how I do my classes, Simon Says, that means it's for these guys. Okay. I just say click here, do this, do that, do this, and the whole thing comes together. Okay. And sometimes I get messages from my boys to see if there are any emergencies. Nope, no emergencies. All right. So we've got that. Next thing I want to do, I want you to go down to this area here, the bottom of the screen here, and we're going to just change a couple of things. Visual style, so under display, visual style. Let's just make sure that says shaded with visible edges only. And then under camera, let's make sure that says perspective with ortho faces. And then we're going to go to this grid and snaps. Please make sure layout grid, well, you can have it on or off. It doesn't really matter to me. Mine is usually off, but please turn off snap to grid and incremental move. Those are extremely annoying. Okay. And next that we're going to do, I want to just check, is your mouse working?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to quickly get you up to speed here.
I missed most of it.
Yep.
Fusion 360.
Is that a newer computer or older one?
Yeah, clear it all. New processor. 7 gigahertz. 699. Gigabytes. Drive.
Where'd you guys? Do you have a mouse?
Yeah,
Does that work like a regular mouse? I can't use that. No, I don't know how to do that. Can you get you're gonna need another new mouse or something. And then I'll help you with the preferences. Okay. Because I specifically said in the instructions, bring a mouse. You need a mouse for this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to data. We're going to click in the upper right left-hand corner where it says Show Data Panel. Okay, and then we're going to click that back arrow. You usually see some kind of back arrow until you see your login name right here. All right, and you're going to do a new project. You have to be logged into the internet, okay? Otherwise, it won't save it to the cloud. And here you can just do a new project and call it MultiCam class, something like that. Okay. And I just rename. Okay. And then in that new project folder, you're going to just double click it and open it up. So this is your project folder. A lot of these things that I'm doing right now, I explain in great detail in the absolute beginner class. So that's why I'm not glossing it over, but we're moving ahead because we want to get to designing this test file. Once you have that, click save. Go to the main window here. Click save and just call it test file. Save. Okay, so what you're going to see is you've saved it before you've done anything, and this is really important because it does incremental backups, and if there's, God forbid, a zombie apocalypse or something like that, you won't lose your work. Okay, and now what you can do is you can, on this data panel, this X right here, you can close it. I want to ask, who does not have, this is very, very important, in the upper right hand cube here, who does not have Z up? Who does? Do you have Z up? Okay, because this will not work unless you have Z up. Okay? Alright, so what we see here in our workspace, what we're going to do, we're going to,
I don't have to.
you don't go into preferences.
I'm
Right.
not sure where that is. It's under your name.
Okay. Super important, like if you're taking any of my classes, do not be late. Because we hit it hard right away, we move fast, and a lot of times we change setup preferences, and you got to get that. Otherwise, I'm here 20 minutes before we even get to start the class. Default modeling orientation, Z is up. This is very important. Okay? And then you got to do one more thing or else it's going to get super annoying. Under design, make sure that auto look at sketch is turned off. Okay? And also turn off auto project geometry and auto hide sketch on feature creation. Basically, the only thing you should have in this whole window is edit dimension when created. Otherwise, it's just going to drive you nuts. And since you're doing CAM, go to CAM, make sure you enable cloud libraries, and make sure you show manual NC. Turn that off. Show manual NC should be off. Enable cloud libraries should be turned on. Hit apply. And then design should be in inches. Default units design should be in inches. And CAM should be in inches. Okay? And then hit OK. So if you just changed it right now, it's very important that you go up to this X right here where it says, you haven't named it, and you're going to have to either start a new file. If you started a file, you're going to have to start a new one, okay, because it won't have Z up. So if you just change your preferences just right now, you need to start a new file and save it as a test file, okay? All right. Everybody got blue up? Yes? Good. All right.
Where did you post the file?
you got to hit that tab, that little X in the tab there, and turn it off.
I don't see the CO.
Okay, so what we're going to do, first thing we're going to do, we're going to draw these out. That's the first thing that we're going to do. Very, very easy. Just we're going to design them right out on this graph paper. One of the things that we need, okay, and I'm going to just say this, if I'm not clicking something, don't be clicking anything on your Fusion 360. If I'm not holding my mouse, do not be touching your mouse, okay? Because that's where people get lost. They start clicking stuff when I'm not clicking things. First thing, we want to define a couple of things. We want to define the material. Chris asked that your stock is 24 by 24. This one happens to be 12 by 12, so it's wrong. But he wants to use a bigger piece, 24 by 24. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to define the stock. Okay, the stock is your raw material. So step one, we go up to the upper right-hand cube here, and you're going to click the word top. Okay, and the word top should be reading left to right. It shouldn't be on its side. Okay? If it isn't, raise your hand. Okay. Next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to just give you some basic mousing instructions. Okay? The wheel on the mouse is the most important thing that you have for navigating around this thing. Okay? Very important. Okay? You can't use a trackpad. You can't use anything else. You have to use a wheel. All right? And what you're going to do to zoom in and out, you push the wheel away from you, it zooms away, and if you pull it towards you, it pulls the thing in towards you. Okay? You don't have to go to the bottom here and click on the hand or the orbit thing. You can do everything with the wheel. If you want to pan your work area right to left or left to right, you click down on the wheel, and you click down and hold, and you can move things left to right and up and down. Okay? If you want to orbit, like tilt around, like if you're working on a 3D object, like a cabinet or shelving or whatever, or a bed, you want to look around, what you do is you hold the shift key down on your keyboard, or if you have a Mac, you hold down the command key. Okay? And then you click and hold the wheel, same way, okay? And you can tilt and orbit around your workspace. Okay? If you ever get lost in your design, you just go up to the top right-hand corner, you click Home, and then you click the word Top, and it resets everything back to the way we're going to be working. Okay? So that's just basic navigation. Another thing is if you've never used a CAD program before, one of the weird things for people is that when I ask you to draw a rectangle, it's not click and hold and then drag and then let go. It's click, let go, move, and then click again. Okay? That's very common in CAD programs. There are only a few exceptions. There are only a few things that we actually click and hold, like Windows selecting things. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do, we're going to draw our stock, 24 by 24. So what you're going to do with your left hand, you're going to hit the letter R on your keyboard for rectangle. And you're going to see this square, this kind of flashy square right in the middle. Okay? And you're going to click on that. That tells Fusion that you want to draw on that plane. Okay? Everybody got it? All right. What you're going to do, you watch my cursor. Do you notice as I bring it close to the origin here, it snaps to that origin? You're going to click once. You're going to move the mouse out and click again. Just draw a rectangle. Okay? We got to put dimensions on it now. So the first letter of dimension is D. So click the letter D on your keyboard. And then you're going to click that bottom line once. You're going to move the mouse down a little bit, and you're going to click it again. And you're going to have a little dialog box there asking for a number. You're going to put the number 24 in and hit Enter. Then you're going to move your mouse again to the sideline, this one right here. You're going to click it once. You're going to move the mouse over. You're going to click it again, and you're going to put the number 24 in there, and you're going to hit Enter. Now you're going to notice that my stock is out of view. So again, using the mouse, you double click the mouse and it fits to view for you. Okay? Are we all on the same page? Very important that we're on the same page. Okay? You need a mouse, man.
I've got a mouse.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, if you know what you're doing. Okay,
I
because
just
people.
can't get it to click on the.
Right.
When I hit D, nothing happened.
When you hit D, nothing happened?
You hit D and then click on the line.
Click on the line and drag it. Just drag
Don't.
it.
No, you don't drag. You click, let go,
Okay.
move. You move the mouse,
I've
and
got
then
the rectangle.
okay.
I just gotta get the dimension. Okay.
You hit D.
It'll pop up the side.
You click the line once. You move the mouse over to the side. You click it again, but no dragging. Okay. Does your cursor look like this with a little ruler?
No.
Hit escape on your keyboard a couple of times. Okay, now hit the letter D. Oh, did you stop? Okay, did you stop sketch? Do you have this thing up here? Does it say stop sketch up here? Or no?
Yeah, it has open.
It does?
Yeah.
It needs to say stop sketch up there because then you're in sketch mode. Did you hit the letter D on your keyboard?
Yeah.
Do you have that little ruler icon beside your cursor?
Now I do, yeah.
Okay. Now you should be able to put dimensions in. All right, next. What we're going to do, we're really only going to work when we do this. Don't make it huge. You don't have to fill up the whole 24 by 24. We're going to just keep it in a small little area right in the middle here, okay? Because some of these, like the pocket cut, I mean, if you make this pocket huge, it's going to be a long cut. Chris doesn't want to spend 2 hours doing a test. He wants to spend 15 minutes. Boom, you're out of there, and then you can work on a real project, okay? First thing that we're going to do is we're going to put some text on there. And you don't have to write a poem or a book. All you have to do is just put the words test. So you're going to go up to the sketch right up here, this upper left part. You're going to click on that word sketch. You're going to go down where it says text. You're going to click on text. And then you're going to click in the middle of your workspace. You should have the letter A on your cursor. You're going to click in the middle of your workspace. Okay? And then you should have a dialog box that pops up that says text. And you're going to type in the word test.
Questions? Can we change the word test to something else?
Mm-mm. And then you're going to just change the height to like 1 inch, so it's a little bit bigger. And then you're going to hit OK. And you should have the word test looking like that. Everybody got it upright the way it's supposed to be? Yes? Thumbs up.
Be centered.
No, it does not matter. Just keep it in that like 1 foot by 1 foot area. I couldn't care less. Nobody cares about that. Just get it right. Just get that word test in there. Okay? Next, what we're going to do a pocket. Your pocket, here, you have an option. You can make your pocket any shape you want. You can make it a square, a circle, a rectangle. You can make it look like an amoeba using the spline command.
The question, whenever I hover over the square, it starts to go blue. Should I press?
Goes blinky?
Yeah, no, it just goes blue. Should I press escape or?
No. That's normal. Okay? Yeah, see, mine does the same thing. Do you see that? That just means the profile is on and it's selectable. It's nothing to be alarmed about. Okay, so look, you can pick anything. If you want to do a circle, hit the letter C on your keyboard, and then you'll have a circle icon on your cursor, and just click. You click, move, click. Click, move, click. A little circle like that. If you want to do a rectangle, you hit R on your keyboard, and you click, move, click. If you want to do something fancy like a spline, you can click on sketch, you go to spline, and you can go click, 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 and you have an amoeba. Okay? Doesn't matter to me. But you only get one today. All right. and for the test. So I'm gonna do the circle because that's pretty standard. Good. So we've got the pocket. Next, we're gonna put a profile around it. And it doesn't matter, again, your profile can be a square, a circle, an amoeba. Let's just do the square like that. So you hit the R on your keyboard and you're going to draw a square around all that. Okay, so you should have the stock, the test, a circle, and this other square inside or some other shape. Once you have those elements, you can now click on Stop Sketch. So Stop Sketch is going to be in the upper right here, or it's going to be on this sketch palette. You're going to hit Stop Sketch. That's it. That is how you simply design out in Fusion 360 what you want to cut. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the CAM environment, okay, and we're going to set toolpaths and the stock, okay. And I know I'll have to go around and fix a few things on some of yours, but we're going to do that. So in this gray box right here where it says model, click on it, go to CAM. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to give you guys the tool library for our machine here. And I have to delete something here.
These are all primarily wood bits.
Yeah, I'll go into those in just a second. These are all the ones that we have, or we should have. Okay, so
Can you use metal bits for doing wood?
these are all metal wood. These are all. These can be used for either. Okay, so just hold on a sec, and I'm going to give you guys a link to this. And
So we need to get into our email.
no, I'm gonna give you a link. So you need to be hooked up to the internet because I'm just gonna give you a link and it'll download it directly. Hold on. All right. Can you see that? Go to your browser, type that in, and that is going to download the complete DMS tool library for the MultiCam. Make sure you save it somewhere that you know where to find it, like the download folder or your desktop. Do not open it. When it goes to download, don't click open. Click save, save to the download folder or to the desktop. Make sure you know where you're saving it. You're going to need to know that the next step. When you guys have it downloaded, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't know how to download files from the internet, you're in the wrong class. Just save it. Everybody can see that? YBTYFOU 9. Tiny URL. Good. We have it. We have you. You already have it, right? Everybody got a thumbs up. You got it downloaded. Got it downloaded.
So I was not supposed to hit return on the browser, or I went to the. I've got a DMS tools.
Yeah, so there's a little down arrow button on your right hand side at the top.
Okay.
Just click that.
Right. It's probably in your download folder.
Now it's telling you where you want to save it.
All right. Should go down by default unless you have something else.
Who does not have it yet? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it? Good. You just need to know where it is, that's all. Because then we're going to import it. Get the link there. You don't.
One of the links is up there for some reason is, do you have to have it? Yes, for that.
You need to have it.
You gotta have it.
All right, no, that was wrong arrow.
You got it? You got it? Okay. You got it? Taking a picture?
Yeah.
Just download it and I'll.
Yeah, I'm trying. Just keep going.
It's not. Are you having trouble with the internet or something?
It was saying it wouldn't download for some fucking reason. I don't get it, but it was.
Okay. Maybe you just put the wrong letters in or something.
I thought it said.
Okay. You got a picture?
I'll catch up to you.
Okay.
All right. Just do what you got.
There you go. All right. I'll come over there and help you. Let me do that. I want to do that right now. YBT. Let me see. Tiny URL. Good. And good. YBT. Oh, you got it. YBT enter. And no, we don't. No, you just hit download.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Save.
Save file.
Okay. Good. Click on there. Good. And would you just open up the folder? Okay, so it's in here.
Okay. All right. So.
All right? You already did it once. So it's in your downloads. That's all you need to know.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Now we go back to Fusion. And we're in the everybody should be in CAM in that gray box right there. It should say CAM. Good? All right. We're going to go to the left here where it says Manage, and that first folder, okay, is Tool Library. Click it. Now, don't panic if mine looks different than yours, okay? So before you have an anxiety attack, I want you to turn off, in these folders, turn off local, turn off vendors, turn off samples. And yes, I have other folders that you don't have, okay? I want you to make sure who does not have the word cloud. Okay, let's fix that right now. You don't have it? Go to Preferences. Go to CAM.
Cause life.
Come on. And let's see. Boom.
Cloud.
You got a cloud now?
Yes.
All right. Turn off everything. Turn off all those other folders so you don't have a panic attack, okay? So you should have the word cloud, and just make it's going to be empty. Mine has other stuff in it. Just make sure the check mark is on in cloud, okay? And then what you're going to do, you're going to right click on the word cloud, and then you're going to import to a library. And it's going to ask you to import it to a library. Go to the folder where you saved that file, whether it's the download or the desktop. It's probably the download folder. Find the file. It's called dmstools.tools. Double click it or double click it, and bam, your tool library should be populated with something that looks like that.
Bunch of those.
Okay, so I'm going to explain those to you. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Who does not have it? I see puzzled looks. I see confused looks. Okay, good. Awesome. Right. Okay. So here's the crash course. This looks like there's a whole bunch of end mills, but really they're not. You're going to notice if every eye's up here at my screen, okay. Oh, maybe what we should do is let's sort them. So click on that name right up here. Click it once, click it twice. Make sure the little arrow above the word name is pointing up. That way they will be ordered numerically. So you should see a thing that says MultiCam at the top, and a whole bunch of numbers and different things with hard plywood, hard MDF, blah, blah, blah. Now what you're going to see here is you're going to see at the top, there are going to be 5 end mills with the number 1, 5 with number 2, 5 with 3, and so forth. Anything that's numbered with a number 1 is the same end mill. The only difference between those 5 is what material what the setting for that material that you might be cutting, and that has to do with feeds and speeds, okay, and chip load. It's the same.
You have like 5 different profiles for each.
Yes, I mean it's the same thing on VCarve. You've got each one. There's a different slot for the different materials. This is exactly the same way, okay. So if it says tool number 1. That's always the 1/8 ball, but if you're cutting Baltic birch or hardwood or MDF or soft, you're not. If you're gonna cut hardwood like maple, you're not gonna pick the softwood one, or you will break an end mill. Okay, and then it goes on and on and on. This is primarily okay. So if you look at a V-bit. This is not an end mill that machinists use. This is an end mill that I'm going to pass these around. Okay, this is an end mill that woodworkers use, and we call it a V-bit. Okay, machinists they have one that does almost does the same thing. Okay, or it has the same shape, but they call it a chamfer end mill, and it's designed to put a chamfer on the edge of a piece of metal. They also use another tool they use is called a spot drill. And basically a spot drill looks like, how a drill is pointy on the end and has spirals going up it? Well, it looks like a drill, but without the spirals going up it. Okay? And in Fusion 360, or in the cam end here, they don't have a thing called V-bit. Okay? And you can either use a spot drill or a chamfer end mill as its profile. When I define these, I define them as spot drills. The reason why is because when you buy a V-bit, you buy this as a 60 degree, and when you enter it in, if you have your own and you want to enter it in like your own V-bit, you're going to choose the spot drill profile because all you have to do is enter in 60. But if you use the chamfer as your profile, you have to enter in 30 degrees, which is the half angle. So to make things easy for our confused minds, I define it as spot drill, and I would suggest it. That way there's no error in your calculations, okay? And just for fun, let's just pass these around so if you have just so you know, these are the 2 end mills that we're going to be using.
They're sharp. Well, they should be
Well,
sharp.
they're from the shop, so they're dull.
Quick question. Okay, so these are all on wood, right? Those are calibrated for the feeds and speeds
Yes,
already, so I'd mainly do metal,
right.
so I wouldn't use any of those for what I do, right?
No, and we're not allowed to cut metal on here.
No, I know that, but.
But if you if you're going to be doing it on your own machine or on the Haas, okay, then yeah, you're going to have different feeds and speeds, but the feeds and speeds should already, the tool library for the host should already be defined and be given to you if, you know, it's available.
Take that
Right,
class or
yeah.
whatever, Yeah, all right.
Okay,
No, I was for my machine.
okay. Okay. So that's why we have spot drill instead of that. So what we're going to do, now that you know what all that means, we're going to just, on this cam tool library, you're going to click X at the upper right hand corner. Shut that down. Just like in VCarve, you have to set up your material. You have to set up your work environment before you do any tool paths. And that's what we're going to do, okay? First things first, what you're going to see in this upper left-hand corner is the word setup. And that folder, that first folder on the left, you're going to click that. Okay? Now, some of you, this is where I'm going to have to go around and fix people's stuff. But you'll note, I want everybody to just look at mine for a sec, okay? And if yours is not looking like this, we'll fix it before we move on. But I've used this enough times that I have defaults that are set up that when I hit the word stop, when I hit the word setup, it immediately sets up, you know, a stock for me, which is that kind of that golden yellow. It sets an origin for me and all of that. So I want to know right now who does not have something like this golden thing going around their box. Who does not have it? Something looking like this. Okay, a couple? All right. So, for those who...
Excuse me, that was after you hit setup?
After I hit setup.
Okay, yes.
So you hit that first folder there, setup. You should get a dialog that says setup. Okay? And then you should get this thing that kind of surrounds your stock like that. Okay? First thing that we're going to do, okay, because there are weird defaults in here. Remember, this is great for working on the multicam, but this is primarily geared to machinists, so sometimes their default settings are a little bit odd. So in this setup dialog right here, look, everybody, eyes up here, this setup. Click on the second tab, stock. Okay? And this is what you're going to do. Okay? You're going to click in mode, you're going to click relative size box. Okay? And then you're going to click no additional, set offset mode, no additional stock. And actually, I gave you I just lied to everybody. In this stock offset mode, make it add stock to sides, and because we have to add a thickness to it. So I goofed up. Okay, add here, yeah, add stock to sides and top and bottom. So make sure that's right. In stock side offset, put a 0 in there. Stock top offset, put a 0 in there. And the stock bottom offset, we want to give this material some thickness, okay? That was about an inch, but typically you're going to go in there with like a ½ inch. So stock bottom offset, we're going to put 0.5. Very important, this round up to nearest needs to be 0. So in this example, we have 0, 0, 0.5, and then 0. Do not hit OK yet. And then what you're going to do when you have those 4 numbers in, you're going to right click in any of those boxes, and you're going to click on Make All Default. Don't hit OK yet. Are we all together? Good. Next, we're going to hit the first tab where it says Setup. Just do that, and then if you don't have what I have, I'm going to come in and rescue you. Okay? We're going to just get everybody, because there's always 1 or 2 who have something weird going on.
Does it matter that my axis is in the center?
We're gonna take care of that. Okay. So next we're in the first tab. Okay. Operation type should be milling. That's default. Orientation, model orientation, which is pretty default, is default. The origin point, when we set the origin point, it should be stock box point. Okay. And then the stock point, okay, it's going to ask for where do you want to set the origin. Okay, where you set the origin here is where you set the home on the machine. Okay? And here's the thing that if you've never taken the class or you don't know what the heck is going on here, you're going to see, I want everybody to look up at my screen. Notice that this is just like in VCarve, and it confuses everybody. The x-axis, this is the long side of the table,
14 feet.
10 feet.
10 feet.
And the x, okay, is I think 5 feet, okay? Or the y-axis is this way. So the operator is usually standing right here. And whatever you, this is just like in VCarve, you're designing it to look like this, but when it cuts, it always cuts sideways on you. Right? I design it like this, but when I cut it on the machine, I'm actually standing, I'd be standing here, and it's actually cutting like this. So I design it like this. When I'm designing, I'm standing here, but when I'm cutting it, I'm standing here. So it cuts sideways. That confuses people, but learn it. Okay, just it's either way, VCarve or this. Okay. So the stock box point. What's cool about this is you have a lot more options than VCarve. And take a look at my screen here. I'm using the wheel on my mouse, and I can see that I can pick different origins. I can pick the origin in the middle or on any corner, but at the top, the middle, or the bottom. I could even zoom in on the center of my workspace. I can pick the top, the middle, or the bottom. And the way it's taught in Chris's class or in the regular multicam class is that the bottom, you pick as your origin the bottom left-hand corner. The top left-hand corner. So it's the top corner on the left. So that's what you're going to do. If yours happens to be here, see, I just have to click on it and it changes. And then but we all want it down here. If it's not working, zoom in, or if it doesn't grab it, click one of the other ones and then go back and click the one you want. There we go. Okay? And so at this point, I want to know who does not have this.
I gotta submit to one.
Huh? Okay? If it doesn't click immediately to where you want it, just click something else, zoom in on that spot, and try clicking it again. It's the reason why there we go. It's a bit, even on mine, it's a bit persnickety. Okay, who does not have what I have? We got 2, we got 3. Let me go around and fix it. You did not. Okay. And model. No, you have it. I see what you did. Relative size and stock. Is this a newer computer or an older one? It's a newer one? reason your origin is set wrong. Well, let's do this. There's something you designed something wrong back in here. There's always one or two of you guys have this problem. Setups. So I'm going to just do a workaround here for some reason. Width 24. Fixed. And we want this on the left side. Here. Depth 24. Height 0.5. And from top. And I don't know why yours is doing something funny, but it is. You have the latest version? Okay, and now it's and we want that here. And girls. Who else doesn't have that? You have it. Good.
Sort of.
Okay.
Text in it, but it was not the right dimension.
Let's see. Units are good. Stock. Oh. I know why. Oh. Aha. Your, and I'm just going to fix this because you didn't really snap that to the origin. So let me just fix this up real quick here. This guy should be here. And you don't have dimensions in here. Let's fix that. And sketch. D. Ah, you're only 4 inches, that's why. 24. Good. And then we'll bring this guy up here. Make it a little bit bigger. And your pocket. Oops, I should grab that. Here. And we need some text. Text. Here. And text. And we'll make it 1 inch high. And okay. There we go.
Alright.
That is done. Go back to cam. Good. And now I'm going to hit setup. Ah, look at that. Now it all snaps together. See? Boom. And our stop box point, we're going to just put it to. Come on. There we go. There we go. And I just want to make sure that the lot, see, we want to make sure that this is on the surface. Good. Boom. Who else? Oh, you're done? What happened to you?
Well, I couldn't get this to come this way. But,
Okay.
this side, this side.
Let's take a look.
I don't know, is that the dimensions of this top?
No, so it looks to me like you did not set dimensions. Oh, you did. Okay, so that's right. And what do you have? Millimeters. Ooh. Okay. And so what we're gonna do here, we can fix that. We can go right in here. We're gonna put 24 IN. Boom. Okay. And we go here. Where is the? Here. So you can just go 24 IN. And so your thing is just way too small.
Alright.
And so we'll just grab that. Oops, I didn't want to grab all that. Let me do this. Oops. Okay. Y'all getting personal tutoring here.
I love it.
And can I move that? Yeah, I can move it. Okay. So that is like way too tiny. So we move it in here. And then we just make this guy a little bit bigger. Okay. Oops. Alright. Let's see, what is that? We'll make it a little bit bigger. Like that. And we're gonna make him 1 inch. IN. So you can, if you happen to be in millimeters, you can always just type in IN, or if your default is in inches, you just type in. That's it. Okay. We got that, and then we go back to cam, and then we're gonna hit that setup, and it's like almost ready to go. Good. See, right dimensions. Box point is going to be. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong one. There we go. And oops, hey. Oh, you're good.
So, good to double check preferences.
Oh, preference. That's why you can't ever be late to any of my classes. Sorry. Are you good?
I didn't want to move that.
So, preferences. I only, you could. The only thing I did say was the first one was a millimeter, and then I changed the heads. So when I open a new file, you just zoomed in file special.
You gotta, yeah, you just gotta zoom because you gotta just zoom in. If it's not clicking it, you gotta zoom in because it doesn't know what you're actually clicking. And let's just. That's good. Oh, and yeah, test. You're gonna have to go into your. Oh, there's too many setups here. That's gonna be confusing. Good. And that's good. You've got an extra circle there, which you don't want. So. Ready? Come on. Good. And your test should be out here somewhere.
Click on that mic rivet. It doesn't then click the one below it. Clicking out. It doesn't do that.
That's about right. That should work. Then we just go back to cam. Yeah, that's all you're set now. You get your setup. Right. Okay. Who's next? Who else needs private tutoring?
I think I got everything, but I just can't get it to go to that
You
corner.
gotta zoom right in.
Well, I mean, I can click on other corner, just keep clicking on that one.
That's because the origin is there. That's why. There you go. See?
Not zooming in enough. All right.
Manos magicos. All right. Any more private tutoring? Okay. And I'm going, no, the rest is all downhill from here. It's all easy, so I should say. Okay, what is that?
Since getting it okay after you get all that.
Yeah, you hit okay. Give me 1 sec here. I have 2 boys. One has money, and they're both hungry. And one is refusing to buy the other one food. And so, with the miracles of modern technology, I'm going to send him some money, like right now, so they don't fight. You know, see, if you want to just not fight with your wife, give her lots of money. It's the answer. That was a joke.
Oh, so true.
An honest man.
Yes, dear.
It's not about keeping your wife happy. It's about keeping her from being unhappy. Right? Yeah? Amen? Okay. Yeah. Hold on. I'm just going to send him a little bit more money. There. They're rich now.
Apple pie?
Rich.
No, I assumed apple pie.
Same bank account. That's what I did.
You know what I did? I got one of those.
My daughter started driving, we just got her a debit card and one account, I think ours.
Yeah, I got one of those Serve, like American Express Serve cards. It's like no fees, none. I can take cash out. I can put cash in, checks. I can give my kids each a card, and if I have it, it's like a bank account with no fees. You don't get any interest, but I can send money. They each have their own like card, a sub account. Boom, it's like that. So it's really awesome. I should like work for that company. Okay, next, we're gonna do the 3 cuts under 2D. Right here, these are gonna be 2D cuts. So we're gonna pin some of these. These are the ones that we're gonna use, and there's 3 that we're gonna use. We're gonna use engrave, which is right here at the bottom. So you see that little up arrow? Click it. Next, we're going to do a pocket. So go up to 2D pocket, go to that arrow, click it. And then they don't call it profile, they call it contour. Okay? That's profile is a woodworking thing, contour is a machinist. So you're going to click that up arrow. So in 2D, you should have a squiggly thing which says face. So you're not going to use that one. Just grab it. There. Here you get to click, hold, and drag, and then remove it. See? You just grab it and take it, bring it to the workspace, and it disappears. Okay? Boom. So you should have 3. You should have one that has a V, which is engrave. You should have 2D pocket, and you should have 2D contour. All right? They're either thanking me or fighting.
Thanks, fighting.
That's why my brother and me does all the time.
Not you give them more money.
Thanks, money. Thanks, money. No, we usually get our money taken away after that.
My 3D
But we also have a system. So
Your what?
three-dimensional part disappeared.
We're not using 3D. What did you do?
No, like,
stock disappeared.
yeah, there's no three-dimensional aspect to the model anymore.
Right. Click on the word setup.
Oh,
It doesn't have setup tool like you.
See, didn't I tell you at the beginning of the class? People would ask me about things I didn't mention. Just click on the word setup here, right here, right there.
We've got two of them.
Oh, you've got two. You should only have one.
Pick the one above.
No, not the one above. You pick the sub one. It doesn't matter if it's set. Look, I could call this unicorn, and it's still gonna work. See? You don't have unicorn? Okay. See? Well, you don't have it. You never set it up. That's why. You never set this up the way I showed you guys. That was that whole last 30 minutes.
0.50.
We used to have businesses under $100,000 I thought that if you actually are above it, it's
You didn't. You must have like hit cancel. You didn't save it.
So you can just press escape now?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I didn't really. Okay, so let's do it. You should have V, 2D pocket, and 2D contour. Let's do it. So, if you want to see how that looks, I mean, you can click on I named mine unicorn, but you're just probably going to say setup 1 or setup 2 or setup 3. Don't panic as long as it's a folder under setups, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to do our first toolpath. We're going to click engrave, this first one here, okay? And you're going to get this dialog box. Don't panic if you see a whole bunch of numbers there. Those are just all the settings for the end mill that we're going to use. So if this really gives you an anxiety attack, this word here where it says feed and speed, just click that arrow and it'll hide it for you. Okay. Next, what you're going to do under tool, you're going to click select, and you're going to go to your under cloud DMS tools. You're going to scroll down, and we're going to do, it's going to be, let's pretend we're cutting this out of pine, which is a softwood. And we'll use a 60 degree. So it's tool number 10, 60 degree spot drill, and in brackets it says 60 degree V-bit softwood. Click that one. And then at the bottom right-hand corner, hit OK. Okay? You should still have this dialog box open. Do not hit OK. But under Tool, right here, it should just say that you have a number 10 half-inch 60 degree spot drill. Excuse me. We're going to go to the second tab. It's asking for geometry. You know, what do you want to cut? You're going to click on the word test. Make sure you click on the word test. Okay, don't be so far zoomed out that you don't know what you're clicking on. Go zoom in and click on the word test. Tab 3, those are heights. Don't worry about those. Tab 4, nothing there, nothing to see. Tab 5, nothing to see. Now you can hit OK. And it should have, if you tilt it, you can see that it created the toolpath for that V-bit right underneath the letters. Because that's what it's going to do. It's going to follow the actual profile of those letters and cut them out based on that, using trigonometry. And you don't have to know trigonometry to do this. Do you want me to do that again?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do it again. We're going to do it each. Okay, here's the rules. I'm going to do it again. When you've done the step, you put your hand up. Okay? Then I can do the next one. We're here. We're all looking. Are we all looking? We all have some kind of a setup under. We have a setup under the setup, right? Hands up? Yes. We all have the three: engrave, 2D pocket, 2D contour. Yes. We're going to click engrave. Good. You're going to go to the top here where it says tool. Look at my screen. You're going to select a tool. The tool library is going to open up. You're going to go to under cloud. You're going to go to your DMS tools. You're going to scroll down. You're going to find tool number 10. There are 5 of them. And you're going to find the one that says soft plywood. Not soft plywood, softwood, because we're using pine. We're imagining that we're using a piece of pine. You're going to click that, and you should see a picture here of this thing that looks like a thing. And then right underneath the thing, you're going to hit OK. Good, good, good. You're going to look at this dialog box that says engrave. You're going to click on the second tab. You're going to see a thing called geometry, contour selection. Right now, nothing is selected. You're going to make sure that you zoom in on that test and you click on the word test and that it's highlighted and it's blinky. It's got a blue line and a red line and it's all blinky. No? Yes? 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 Good? Not the box. Yes. The text. Simon says.
Okay.
Good. Tab 3. Click on tab 3. Nothing to see here. Click on tab 4. Nothing to see here. Click on tab 5. Nothing to see here. Those are all defaults when I say that. Okay? Because on the next ones we're going to change some things in there. You're going to go down here where it says OK. Click OK. Boom. You should, if you zoom in on the word test, you're going to see the letters test, but underneath you're going to see these blue lines. That is the toolpath. Can I have a hallelujah, amen?
Hallelujah. Amen.
Awesome. So I don't have to, I'm not going back to this because I got a hallelujah, amen. Next, we're going to go to the second one, 2D pocket. You should have a dialog box that says 2D pocket. See? Under tool, you're going to click the word select. Your library is going to open up. You're going to click DMS tools. And we're going to use the 1/4 inch flat. It's tool number 4. It's the one that says softwood. You're going to click on that. Tool number 4 that says softwood, 1/4 inch. And you're going to see a picture of a thingy here with a thingy sticking out of it. And you're going to hit the word OK. Hallelujah? Right. Tab 2. It's asking for geometry. We're going to go through, we're going to make sure all of these are set right, and then we're going to set them as defaults. Pocket selection, it should say nothing. Click that circle right above the word test or whatever shape you have there. Now, pay attention. That circle, when you click it, it should be blue on the inside. It should not look like that. It should look like that. If it looks like that, you go to the little arrow and you click the little arrow because that arrow is saying I'm cutting on the outside of that line. And now you click it and now the arrow is on the inside and now you're saying it's going to cut on the inside. That's what you want. Any questions now? No. Okay. Make sure stock contour is turned off, rest machining is turned off, wrap toolpath is off, tool orientation off. All off. We're going to go to The third tab, heights. And now I'm gonna go through these. These settings here are just the heights. The machine moves. You know, when it's cutting, it's going to be at a certain height, and you have to tell it where the stock top is. Sometimes the spindle will move up and go to another spot and go down. You know, that's like the retract height, and then when it's done, it goes to the clearance height. So that's what all those heights are. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. Follow me. I will not move until you have each one because I don't want to go back. The one at the very bottom is bottom height. What you're doing is you're telling the machine how deep you want to cut into your stock. This happens to be a 1/4 inch cut. So when we defined our stock as a 1/2 inch, right? So we want our pocket to be a 1/4 inch. Okay, so remember this, that's what this is going to say. Bottom height should say from selected contours, because we picked, remember in the previous step we picked those contours? From selected contours. And our offset is going to be minus 0.25. We want to go down minus 0.25. If you put 0.25 in there without a minus, it's going to cut up here and it's going to cut air. Okay? It's just like in V-carve. The top height should be, you're defining the very top of where you're basically the top boundary of where that end mill will go. So you want to make sure you say stock top. And the offset should be 0. Because when it lifts and it retracts and goes somewhere else, you don't want to smash it into your stock when it does that. So you need to tell it where the stock is. Okay. The feed height. I'm going to change mine here because I've been messing around and these settings are better. The feed height is basically when it starts to go. You know, it's saying, okay, I'm going to start drilling or I'm going to start milling. That's like that. It's like when it really starts to gear up and go in. And we're gonna just make a few changes here. For this one, we're gonna put in the feed height. So look here, feed height from top height. Make sure that says offset. We're gonna put 0.4 in there. And notice, feed height is relative. It's from or relative to the top height, which is the one right below it. I like to work in levels like that. Then we go to the retract height. From, it should say feed height. Probably the default on yours is wrong. So you're going to change it to the one that's below it. This is a good practice. Everything is relative to the one below. That's a bug. And you can put in 0.2, or even better, you can probably put in 0.1. We'll see if it works. It should work.
So retract height from should be top height. As well.
No, retract height from feed height. It's always the one below it. Yeah. When you get good and you start practicing and you start like doing sophisticated stuff, these numbers mean a lot. Okay?
What value did you have for your?
I put in 0.1. Then the clearance height from retract height. And just make that one 0.1 as well.
Mine says, not the same.
Okay.
Something.
So eyes up here. Eyes up here. This, look, retract height is here and it's here. So it's always relative to the one above. Feed height, top height, stock top, and this is the only one that's different, and bottom height. But these ones are always relative to each other. Okay? Tab 4.
Click OK.
No, tab 4. This one is not going to use multiple depths, so this is a 1/4 inch end mill, and it can easily cut to the depth of a 1/4 inch without any trouble. So forget these passes here. Don't worry about anything here. Nothing needs to be changed. Multiple depths are off. stock to leave, off, smoothing, off, feed optimization, off. 5th tab. Okay. Everything is fine in here. We're going to make one little change. Do you see this ramp? Do you see this second one here where it says maximum ramp step down? What do you guys have in there?
1 inch.
You have 1 inch? What you're gonna do is you're gonna right click in that box. You're gonna edit expression. And you're gonna type in this tool diameter.
I don't have a ramp somewhere.
Are you on the 5th tab?
I'm on the 5th tab.
Yeah, I don't have it.
You should have the word ramp there.
That was-
Okay? You're gonna edit that expression in that box and you're gonna put this in.
Tool underscore diameter.
This. So what that
Ramp
does,
type, is it-
what?
You said we change the ramp type, or
No.
I missed that word?
Okay. Do you see here ramp? On,
Yeah, see ramp.
you're on the 5th tab.
Yeah.
You see ramp. Only thing you're doing is on this second box here. What you're doing is you're right clicking in that second box, you're editing the expression, and you're putting the word tool diameter in there. So you're defining. This is very cool because there are a lot of really neat custom things you can do to make your cuts go really fast. But in this case, you're just going to put tool diameter because that's nice and safe.
You need the underscore in there?
Underscore is mandatory,
And that changed the value as well.
and your value should be, if you hit OK, huh?
It's the diameter of the tool.
Right, and that's like the golden rule. It's really nice. So if you pick a 3/8 using this, it'll come out 3/8. If you pick an inch, no, well, we don't have a 1/2 inch or an 1/8, that number will be the diameter of the tool. It's just a nice thing and safe. Okay, then that's all you got to worry about. Go away. And now, oh, I have to hit OK. And now you're going to hit OK down here. And don't panic if you get some weird error. I did not get an error. Anybody get a yellow error like the world is coming to an end, or did it just work like butter? Yeah? Yeah? See? There's one annoying thing though. This spiral here is a really long spiral. This is like a machinist kind of thing. So I'm going to just save you a lot of grief. Let's go back to where it says 2D Pocket here. We can edit it. We're going to right click on that 2D Pocket toolpath. You're going to click Edit. You're going to go to the 5th tab. And under Ramp, where it says Ramping Angle, let's change that to 25 degrees. And before you hit OK, I want you to right click in any box and make all default. And that's going to stick. Right click in any box and make all default. Make all default. Make all default. Now hit OK. So you see that spiral is not so long-winded. It's like more direct, like which is what you would be real in the real world for wood. Okay. So you should have this. That's what it does. You know, it comes down, it spirals in, and then it cleans out the pocket. Who does not have that? Be honest. Be honest.
I don't have to say a number of, I have a much shorter spiral.
Smaller circle. You have a much smaller circle than he's got for his overall.
Let me just.
My circle must be small.
Oh, yeah, you've got a small pocket.
Okay.
That's fine.
They come in all shapes.
Yeah. Some are big, some are small.
Quick question. Since I don't do a lot of wood, do I want to change that back for?
I don't know what the numbers are for
Yeah,
machinists.
you don't want to get aggressive with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna bind the end mill, so it's
So
gonna
I'll
be.
probably change it back.
That is knowledge that you need to be aware, but now you know where to set it.
Gotcha.
Okay, I don't know what those numbers
No,
are.
that's fine.
Okay.
I wasn't asking that.
Okay.
I just wanted to know if I should change
Last
it.
one. is we're going to go to this 2D contour. Click it. And you're going to see, you're going to have a dialog box that says 2D contour. And it should already have automatically picked that 1/4 inch flat because that was the last one you used. We're going to go through each one of these. So that's good. Hit the second tab. Geometry. So I have nothing here, and I'm going to select that outside square. Now this is where you got to pay attention, okay? Because I clicked the outside, and look at where my arrow is. My arrow is on the outside of that line. That's where you want it. If it's on the inside, bad. So click it until it's on the outside, good. Right? Okay. Tangential extension distance, 0. The next one below it should be checked off, clicked off. Stock contours should be checked off. Should not. Don't click that off. Then you want to click tabs on. So this is like in VCarve. We're going to put some tabs in there. Okay? You can have this thing automatically set tabs. Like you can say, I want tabs set every 6 inches. Or you can manually put your own tabs in. So you want to make sure tabs is turned on. Tab shape. You can have rectangular tabs or you can have triangular tabs. You know, if your technique is really good, use triangular tabs. If you're not too sure, use rectangular tabs. Okay? You have more room for error with rectangular, but if your technique is really good, triangular is fine. I'm going to use triangular. And then we're going to make a couple of other changes here in tab width and tab height. So in the white box where it says tab width, right click, edit expression, put the word tool diameter in there again. And then hit OK. Yes, it has an underscore. Under tab height, you're going to click in the white box tab height. You're going to right click, edit expression. And this time, you're going to put tool diameter times 0.8. So the tab is going to be the length of the end, or the diameter of the end mill, but its height is going to be a little bit less. That way, at the end of the job, you can take a chisel. And if 80% of the tool diameter is too much for you, you can change it. Or if you like your tabs a certain, always, I want my tabs to be, you know, 2/10. You can just take this. You can just put 2/10 in here, okay. And then when we save, make all default, all your tabs will be that height, okay. But this is safe, okay. You can hit OK. And then what you're going to do, you're going to right click in any white box and you're going to click make all default. Okay, so when you're doing tabs, so you see the tabs on here. This one happens to be 4, which was like bad technique, the way I did it. Because you really, on any job, you really only need, you need, at the very least, you need 3 tabs. And you don't need more than 3 tabs. So how many tabs should you have? Yeah, that's about all you really need. Even, it doesn't matter how big the job is, whatever, it's 3 tabs. We'll do it, okay? Because you don't want that, if they're good, if you set them right and your technique's good, that's all you need. So you can, tab positioning, you can set it by distance. So I can have it every 10 inches. Well, my square is not like, so if I put every 3 inches, there, it put these tabs in here for me. And don't panic if they're not at the same level as mine. We'll fix that in a minute. I happen to have triangular ones, you can see. I could make them rectangular, it doesn't matter. I'll just do triangular ones because they're pretty. But what I like to do is I like to do mine manually at points. So that's what I use. I use at points, and then I'll put one here, and like one here. And I have 3 tabs. Makes it easy for cleanup. And then again, just put your 3 tabs in, and just make all default just for good luck. Okay? Then the next three ones here, rest machining, wrap tool path, tool orientation, turn those all off. Third tab. Okay?
So when I was doing this, I accidentally pressed the backspace.
Don't ever do that again.
Right. So I missed the part where we put the points. So I set all the numbers, but
The tabs?
yeah.
I don't know. So and then you just click 3 points on that line. Just make sure that arrow, the little red arrow, is on the outside. Okay? Good? Yes?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. You have to say yes when I ask you if yes. Okay. We're on the third tab. We're going to move from the bottom and work our way up to the top. So bottom height, again, from selected contours. We're pretending that we're using a 1/2-inch piece of pine, and we want this profile to go all the way through. So guess what number we're going to put in there? -0.5. Okay? Top height should be from stock top, offset 0. Okay? Feed height, I put offset, feed height from top height, offset 0.4. And then retract height, you can put retract height should say from feed height, which is the one below it. It's relative. Offset, just put 0.1 in there. Clearance height from retract height, which is the one below it. Offset, put 0.1 in there. Then you're going to go to the fourth tab. There's nothing in here in passes. Multiple depths, though, we need to make some changes here. So multiple depths, that means it's going to go down, cut, and go down again. It's going to ramp in, cut, and then go down again in 2 steps. Or for a 1/2-inch piece, it's going to go in 2 steps. If it's a 3/4 of an inch, it'll go in 3 steps, like 1/4 of an inch each time. So we can define it with, guess what? Tool diameter. So we're going to click on, make sure that roughing passes is off. Click on multiple depths. So guess what? Maximum roughing step down. Right click in there, edit expression, and type in tool diameter. And then hit OK. And then leave the rest alone. Then stock to leave, click it off, smoothing off, feed optimization off. Fifth tab. Linking, nothing to change. You can leave leads and transitions alone. Ramp, click ramp, make sure ramp is on. Again, we're going to change that to 25 degrees for like wood. And guess what? Maximum ramp step down. Right click, edit expression, put tool diameter in there, and then hit OK. And don't hit OK. Don't hit OK to close this out. We're going to right click in any white box, make all default. And then you can hit the OK on that dialog box.
Run through the values in the ramp section, please.
Okay. There's only the only one you need to worry about. There's 2. 25 degrees.
Ramping angle, right?
And maximum ramp step down. You're going to right click in there, edit expression, and put tool diameter. And then you're going to hit OK. And then you're going to right click in any box and make all default. That way they persist and stick. We're all good? Awesome. See? Simon Says works, doesn't it? Yeah. This is like this is like teaching grade 2. Just like grade 2. That's when they used to teach kids stuff. Back in the old days. Yes?
Can I go to recess now?
No. Oh, no pee breaks in my class, sorry.
Get a bottle.
And no, yeah. We're going to hit OK. And if all went well, there should be no errors. Like up here, there should be no yellow cautionary signs. Did we not get any yellow cautionary signs here? If you don't see one, then you didn't get one. And what you're going to see now is that toolpath with the tabs. Yes? Fun? Can we move on to the next step? Can I get a hallelujah, amen? Uh-oh.
Somehow my origin ended up in the middle again.
Bad. We can fix that later.
Yeah, all right, cool.
So it's not even critical to what we're doing.
All right.
But that you would fix up here where
Okay,
it's
so go to setup.
yeah. But if you change the origin, you have to regenerate all the toolpaths.
Underneath my setup, I have four examples of what it's cutting instead of 3 like
Bad student.
No doubt.
Okay. Yes. Ah. Okay. This is the bad one, and this is the good one. And I'm just gonna double check. Yep. You can even just look on the side. Isn't this pretty?
It is.
It's way prettier than VCarve. Okay, you guys did great. So next what we're going to do is we're going to do a simulation to see what it looks like. So Simon Says, okay, what you're going to do, click on your home, upper right hand corner, home, click on top. Oops, mine is on the side, so hit the rotation button so it does that. And then look up at my screen here so you get a nice view. Do you see where it says top, but right below it I can click that edge? It kind of tilts the piece so you can look at it from the side. Okay? And then what we're going to do you see, look on the left, do you see where it says cam component? Do you see the light bulb?
Yes.
Turn that light bulb off. Don't panic. Okay? It's okay. What you're going to do is where you have your setup, where you did your setup job, you're going to click on that. So that what we're going to do is we're going to sim all of those cuts at the same time. So you click on there, okay? And now watch. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can right click and you can scroll down until you see simulate, or you can just, if you click on that and it's highlighted, you can go up to look up at the top here where it says simulate. I don't care. Click it. Okay, and then you should get a dialog box that says simulate. Right? Everybody get a dialog box that says simulate?
Yep. Yes.
Good. You can click on tool just for fun. You should have tool clicked on, and just where it says tool, change that to flute. Toolpath mode. Click it on tail. It'll just show this tail following around. Under stock, set your material mode. Okay, material to wall paint. Okay. And when you're ready, down at the bottom, there's a play button. Click play. And you can see it will simulate the cut for you.
Mine didn't do the work.
Do you have a side view of it? Are you looking at it from the side?
I'm looking at it right from the top. It just didn't do the work at all.
Why don't you tilt it a little bit?
It is tilted.
Under setup,
You
you
have
have
2
the
setups. You have 2 setups. Center left.
3 setups.
Well, okay, you got multiple setups. What's the
So that's where it got fucked up, so now the,
Okay, no,
the,
here, watch.
the axis,
Oh,
yeah,
that's okay. Wait, so look,
I didn't try changing that. So now-
you can just drag this one over into here. Okay, and now it's part of it, right? This is good. Let me see what you got in here. Edit, stock. This is good. Zoom in, touch. Come on, there we go. Get in there. This is zoom in. Come on.
Yeah, it was being.
There we go. Yeah. Boom. You got to regenerate all of them when you do that. Boom. Okay. Turn this off. Click on here. Hit simulate. Wait a minute. Why don't we- Okay. There we go. And then good. Play. I'm gonna do the pocket first. Oh, we should have had engrave at the top. Here we go. Engrave.
Okay, the grade will do it first, I got you.
Yeah. Get up there. Oh, it doesn't want to do it for some reason. Okay. But you did it all right. It's just kind of in the wrong order. And then if you hit here and hit play, there you go.
Okay, so it's just gonna
Yeah.
last instead of.
Right. Okay, so there's still one more step. And this isn't going to mean anything to you unless you actually have access to the multicam, and that is what we call post-pro. Did you everybody get the thing to sim properly? Yes? No.
No. Don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. Let's just make sure we got everything so we can see. I'm going to turn grid off. There's grid off. Is this annoying? Oh, snap to grid is annoying too. That's annoying. Good. You've got this. Good. We're going to hit simulate. Good. And oh, you don't have stock turned on.
Okay.
And we're going to put it to its wall paint. See, you did. You just couldn't see it.
Okay.
And did it. And we hit play. And we go fast.
Excellent.
Okay.
Good.
So, you can't really do this step. You can't send it to the multicam if you don't have access to it. But if you do, if you don't, you can save the file actually to the desktop. To access the jump server, I just actually learned, like if you're using your own computer, this is the thing I just learned how to get onto the member drive from here. So open up your Windows Explorer just for kicks. Notice how I have, because this is a Dallas Makerspace computer, so it already has it here. But in that, where you have to put in an address here. Okay, I think it's backslash. Whoops! Hey, get out of here. Backslash files members. Yay! That worked. So that's how you. Oh, okay. That was. If I just do there we go. Okay, so let me do it again. I just kind of. If you're on your computer and you want to get to the jump drive or the members folder or the committee drive, this is what you click in your address. You go backslash files, and then hit enter. And then what happens? See, I'm in here Windows Explorer. I go backslash files. And if you're logged into this network, it will work. If you're logged into some other internet service, it's not going to work. But now we can see committee, members, temporary. So in the committee folder, it's actually under woodworking, CNC router, programs, and then you have all these names in here. And if you have access to the machine, you set up a folder in there and you can put this in there. But back to Fusion. So I'm going to close out Simulate because we're almost done. This is the last thing. to post. You got it? Yeah?
I did not know you can get to the server files that way.
You learned something today.
A lot today.
Okay. In VCarve, they call it export, but in the real world, they call it post-processing. Okay? So I want to post-process or export the engrave. I right-click on there, on this one, right-click, and I go to post-process, which is right there. Click it. Okay. Now, if you have a Mac, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to just like click through but I don't really know how a Macs are a little bit weird. But there's nothing here really to change except for this one right here where it says post configuration. You're gonna click in here and there's gonna be all these post processors. Just like any software, even VCarve has a whole bunch of them. But you're gonna go down and you're gonna find the one that says MultiCam ISO. Change that to MultiCam ISO. Okay, and that's about, oh, and then the output folder here is actually where you would go, you know, to your, you would click in here, oh no, I can't do that. You have to, see, I don't know if you if you haven't mapped the member, there's a way to map the member drive and the committee drive. Okay, I'm not doing that for you. I know how, but I'm not doing it for you. You map it, then you can go directly. But what I would say is in this output folder, just click here and make it your desktop. Okay, and then click on desktop, hit open. That's all you have to do. And then you can get those when we export them, you can actually transfer them to your CNC router folder quite easily. So from there, okay, I just want to double check before we do anything. Do you see right at the bottom here where it says open NC file and editor? Make sure that's clicked off. Okay, that should have been set as a default.
So the CNC file name will be 1000.
No, don't even worry about that. Has nothing to do with anything.
But
no, you're going to change it in a sec. Just ignore it. Simon says.
Okay.
I'm pretty smart. I only talk about things that are important. Okay.
Great.
I don't talk about things that we don't need to know about. Okay, then you're going to hit post. Now you can name it. And listen to me. Hear my words. Use this convention when you're naming your files. Your first cut is going to be 01 underscore VBit underscore 60. So what you're saying when you pull it up on the multicam, it's going to be your first cut. You're using a VBit and it's a 60-degree VBit. Then you hit save. Now in your case, John, yours are out of order. But you can still, I mean, you can pick out that one, right? And then the last cut, both of those cuts, the pocket and the contour, are both done with the 1/4 inch, right? So we don't have to export them out as separates. We can export them out exactly at the same time. So you click on 2D pocket, then you hold Control or Command down, hit 2D contour, right click on either of them. Post process, same thing opens up. Don't overthink this. Hit the word post. And then name it 02 underscore. You could put POCK underscore POPROF, which is pop profile underscore, and then just put 25, which is a 1/4 inch. That's what I saved it as. It's my second cut.
Kind of lost you there.
What's your convention? The tool path?
Yeah, no, my convention, I number it 02.
Mm-hmm.
I never put just a 2. I put 02 underscore.
Mm-hmm.
Pocket profile underscore profile, since I'm combining 2, and then underscore 25, which is a 1/4 inch. If I'm using a 3/8, then I'll put 3/8. If I'm using a 1/4 inch ball, I'll put 25B.
I kind of lost you at the very beginning when you said click on that and then control, hit control key or something like that.
Yeah, you just hit.
Standard setups. Yeah. You lock it in the contour, so click on the first one, hold control, and click on the second one, so hit foot slope.
Yeah, you select both of them at the same time.
There you go. You were
Yeah.
highlighting, or you were renaming it. There you go. Okay, right click
Yeah.
on it. Now right click and then
Post process.
So towards the top.
Strongly recommend you use a naming convention like that. Strongly recommend it. When you
like putting them all in a directory for a specific job. So you
right,
put
and you
some-
put it in a like this is your unicorn, hobby horse that you're building. Okay, so you put that, create that folder, and then you number those like that. Why? Because when you're sitting in front of that big machine and you get nervous, because you'll get nervous. Okay, you're gonna like, oh crap, which was the one I was supposed to do next? Yes.
On the machine also, it has an 8.3 naming convention. So you don't get a really long, it's not 8.3, but you don't get a really long name.
No, you don't.
So you have to.
How many do you get?
what's
16 characters or what?
You put what's significant first.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can see like 0, 1, 0, 2, do
Right.
the first, do the second, whatever.
So sometimes if I'm doing like a 3D, I'll put 01 underscore rough, ½ inch, like 1, 2, and then on the other one I'll put 02 underscore finish underscore like a 1/4 inch ball or 1/8 ball, something like that. But I use a lot of different machining. I use a lot of interesting toolpath strategies that are in Fusion, so I use a different. But that's your basic, and we're done.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, amen. I have to teach another class.
Looking good.
No questions. Any comments, questions, or threats?
I got one. On the contour,
Yeah.
is it a problem that when it's exiting, it links out and it like dives into the stock?
Did yours dive into the stock?
Yours is too, yeah, or at least yours is. Mine did. I turned it off, but I've
Where?
done that before where I've broken in mills.
I'm trying to see where it dived into the stock. Is that where on this one? It may. Let me just see.
Not on the pocket. It was on the contour.
Oh, like right here.
On the link out.
It may be. Let me see. I'm not getting. The thing is, I am not getting a collision warning. So what?
Wait, no, keep going. It's going to be your last operation. Right into it.
At the end here.
Yep, keep going, keep going.
Here.
So mine defaulted to it. I'm not sure if I just missed a step where you said, yeah, see, mine linked out. I didn't hear you say anything about it, so I just wanted to mention it. Right there, when it lifted up,
Yeah.
mine lifted up and went out. I made sure to turn it off, but I know about that. I didn't hear you mention it, so I'm saying.
Mine didn't. Is mine doing that? I'm confused.
Yours is not, no. But you might have set that as your default at some point.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, right in here.
Yeah, mine was lead out exit.
I
So
see.
had that checked. So because I've done this before, I know it's going to break an in mill, or maybe not on wood. It might be fine on that. But very last step, you see how it curves.
Right. That's a
So
good
you're
point.
taking a ½ inch cut.
I usually, and that's my mistake. So, thank you. I passed it up. I want everybody to do this right now. And this is I turned mine off, and I didn't get you guys to turn off. I want you to do this. In the 2D, you're going to right click on 2D contour. That last one, you're going to edit. You're going to go to the 5th tab and turn off lead in and lead out. Turn those off. Turn them off. Right click in any white box, make all default. Yeah. And we're also going to do that, so, and then you're going to hit OK. And then you're going to right click on the 2D pocket, edit, linking, and make sure on the 5th tab, lead in and lead out. turn those off. Right click in any white box. Make all default, and then hit OK. I usually have those turned off. Thank you. That's a very good thing.
Did you record this one? You did.
Oh yeah.
All right.